Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. I'm buzzing to say Ladies in Red are back. This is a show I've been looking forward to. Not looking forward to what we're going to be talking about for obvious reasons as a United fan, but I'm glad to have the girls back. I'll start with you, Emma. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Obviously, I moved, was it a week and a half ago, so I'm still getting settled. That's why there's just stuff everywhere. I'm just in the corner of my bedroom at the moment.
Love it. How are you getting on anyway? How is your new home?
Oh, I absolutely love it. There's more space than I actually need, so I don't know what to do, but I'm trying to think of things I can fill up the space with.
Love that. It's always a nightmare, but just before Christmas, I bet it's like really exciting for you and the family. And I'm glad that it's got all going well. Meg, how are you doing?
Personally, I'm okay, but I feel like the dust hasn't settled just yet. I feel like this. I needed a day to kind of prepare about what I'm going to say. I just said to the girls off camera, you know, it's a big show when you come with notes, and I had to write stuff down. I mean, I'm okay. I'm still disappointed, and I still feel like the dust has not settled. Someone's already started with Maguire Gang. I need to get rid of that name right now. I can't be having it after the other night. I cannot be having it.
It's sticking, definitely, Meg. But yeah, you said that disappointment is a big feeling. I mean, Emma, has the dust settled for you yet? Have you calmed down since the other night?
I have a little bit, but I'm still a little bit angry. I'm still disappointed. Just the way it went about. Like, we just needed a point, and we beat PSG, you know, and stuff like that, where it's just typical us, isn't it? Typical us to make it hard for ourselves, go into the Leipzig game with pressure on us. And of course, we went in defensive and lost the game. It was a risk.
Yeah. Rahul says, gentle reminder that Arsenal are playing Dundalk because we speak. Yeah, I mean, we can't even banter that. That's the worst thing about it all. We've ended up back in the Europa League. To be fair, I'd rather us not playing Europe at all, I think, than playing that, but we're in that. I mean, I'll be honest, I've tried my hardest not to think back to the game. So since it happened, I'll be honest, I've barely spared it a thought because I was just so annoyed, so disappointed, like you say, but also I kind of felt it coming since that Istanbul game when we conceded those stupid goals. I just had a feeling that was going to come back to bite us. And ultimately, Meg, we got punished for simple mistakes, didn't we?
We did. How can you concede? Well, I know how you can concede after 109 seconds. But Jesus Christ, talk about making it hard for yourself. What? Making it hard for yourself when Denver Bar just went through, that's making it hard for yourself, right? Yeah. Because that's just terrible. And then when the most crucial game of the season so far, the most important game of the season so far, you're going to concede after 109 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm one to try and keep this positive, girls, and I know this channel is all about positivity, but I'm really struggling with being positive at the moment with what happened.
I feel it. I just want to say, Joel, thank you for the super chat. Says, rest in peace, Paolo Rossi. Obviously sending commiserations there, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it, Emma, to be positive and to stay focused on. The Champions League was massive for us this season. First two games before our group of hell, whatever, people were laughing, felt like we were strolling through. Obviously wasn't the case. I mean, the mood at the moment is low. Obviously, we're going into a derby as well at the weekend. I mean, is that how you're feeling as well? It's hard to pick yourself back up, isn't it?
It is hard to pick yourself back up, but United always, when they have a big loss, they will go out. I know that they will go out and smash City this weekend because it's like two different teams that we have. I am feeling positive going into Derby. I do think that we'll get the win there, just because we've had such a low in the Champions League. Like Meg says, like how? Like, we know how we conceded, but like why? We had like seven defenders. You know what I mean? We went defensive. Ollie went defensive. He, in my eyes, that was the wrong tactic. You know, we only needed a point. We should have gone out attacking. We had nothing going forward in the first half. We had nothing at all, and we still conceded. And I just knew that would happen. I knew how Ollie approached this game would be massive. And I feel like, because I am Ollie in, but I just feel like he done us wrong there. Like, he went defensive. He went into play for a point, and it was a risk that just didn't pay off.
Yeah, it was very defensive, and I remember I had Ricky on the show, and I literally said we cannot rely on us defensively because we are always liable to concede, and I felt we would concede. And I was hopeful that on the counter, we had more going forwards, like you say, Emma. We didn't have a lot, particularly in that first half. I mean, Meg, for you, did Ollie get it wrong?
Completely wrong. And I feel like this was probably the first time where I actually thought Ollie's completely out of his depth. And I just feel, I don't know, in general, you know, you look back and he got the PSG game right at the end of the day. He's got, you know, he's got it right on several occasions, and you can't take that away. We've played well against bigger teams, and at crucial games we've come out and we've got it right. But this time I feel like he got it completely wrong. And not only did he get it completely wrong, but I feel like the players' mentality was completely wrong. We all knew that we had to go out there and just get a point. That is a terrible mentality to go with. And I know it's about game management, and during the game, you don't want to just always go on and score goals. If you've got a minute left on the clock and you're winning 1-0, your aim isn't to go and score a goal. Your aim is to get it in the corner away from the goal. But yeah, just the mentality of going there and sitting with 7. I never, ever, this is to Manchester United as a whole, please, hopefully they'll pick up on this, never want to see a team with McTominay and Matic in it together again.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I don't know what you two girls think, but that's the Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard of England conundrum. We've got Matic and McTominay.
Obviously, the whole Fred situation didn't help us, but I'm going to say that's on Ollie again from me. Yeah, it's obviously stupid from Fred, but the fact that Ollie didn't take him off and we could all see what was coming, we all knew what was going to happen. It happened. That comes into consideration as well. I get that. Nikhil, thank you so much for the super chat. It said this was a hard group. I don't think Man City or Chelsea would have got out of that group. Nobody expected us to progress when the draw was made. I agree with that, but at the same point, when you're at that point where you beat PSG, you beat Leipzig, you're in such a strong position. Exactly, to be from that position, and the way that we lost against obviously Istanbul as well. That goal you mentioned, the Pogba goal, the fact he ran straight through. It's just embarrassing. Like I said, I don't want to touch on it too much because it's just so infuriating. What's done is done. But you mentioned the mentality, Meg. I think we've had a mentality issue for a long, long time now. I genuinely do, and I think that's what's been our downfall. Yes, obviously there's a core group of players who simply aren't good enough, but I think the club's mentality just doesn't feel right to me. We can't seem to get up for games. It's spontaneous. We know what it's like to get the new manager bouncing. Like you say, certain games, like for the derby, like you, Emma, said, it's not unlikely that we'll go out and beat City after the week that we've had. And that just sums us up. We've got no consistency at all. But in terms of Matic and McTominay, I agree. I think we're a bit too one-dimensional, too slow, too many safe passes sideways, hence why we weren't getting forwards as well. There was no service to the front two, a lack of movement, a lack of legs. I mean, Emma, Fred, do you think he was massively missed in that game? Because I certainly do think he was, that tenacity in the middle.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, Sophie, it was on Ollie that we haven't had Fred. He was screaming out that Fred was losing his head near the end of first half, and Ollie should have taken him off. We could see him getting a red, and he should. As much as Ollie said that he trusted him, as much as Fred played well in the second half as well, I think he's very disciplined in the second half. But because his profile was raised already with the referee, it was like as soon as he made that challenge, as much as he got the ball first, it was definitely going to be a red for him because his profile was raised. So for me, we missed him. We definitely missed him a lot. And I said this in my video. I said, Ollie won't go with the same formation where we won 5-0 with. He won't go the diamond. He won't go attacking. And he will literally go defensive and play Scott. And as soon as I seen Scott, I just had this feeling. I was like, we're going to lose. We've gone so defensive. We have nothing going forward. So for me, Fred was massively missed. Yeah,
I've got to agree with you. I've just seen a very good question and I wanted to pose this one to you. I'm going to throw it to Meg first. Was the second or the third goal where the ball's come across the box? It was the third goal, wasn't it? And Maguire could have probably dangled out a leg. There we go. Found it. It was Kieran United who said it. The Howe did nothing wrong. It was Maguire who was at fault. I personally thought Maguire should have gone for that ball. He didn't. There's obviously some kind of lack of communication there. But Meg, as a centre-back in that position, would you say you're at fault there or is it the keeper?
See, do you know what's funny? Because I saw that comment and thought, do you know what? As a centre-back, and you saw it that very last second for their team, that ball is horrific. Like, that ball is a very good ball to put in, and it's a defender's worst nightmare because if you do touch it, it is heading towards your own goal. The possibility, there is a possibility that you're going to score an own goal. You're going to stick a leg out. For me, David De Gea and any goalkeeper in that position, you have got to command what that defender is doing. If you want them to go forward and go and meet the ball, they have to be told, because no defender wants to be putting their leg out that way towards the goal. For me, David De Gea didn't come out and command that. Now, if it's where the ball was, because it wasn't as if it was miles away, it was in the 6-yard box, he needs to come and get that. You need to, and if you take Maguire out, you take Maguire out. But David De Gea needs to come forward and meet that ball. Defender's worst nightmare. Yes, if in doubt, you do probably try to make an attempt, but you need to be told. You need a goalkeeper that is going to command that. So for me, it's not all Maguire's fault. I know a lot is being made out about him at the moment. He stands there after the game for an interview and he takes on this responsibility. And you know what? He probably deserves some responsibility for the way that he has been playing. He's not exactly shone a light on himself right now. But that comes from a player, from behind you as well. And De Gea, like I said, needs to have commanded that situation.
I do think there's a communication issue, and I also agree with this that Darian said. He said that Maguire's awareness in and around him. We've seen it a few times. This isn't the first time that Maguire's let a ball run across the box and someone's tapped in at the back post, for example. I do think he needs to be aware. He obviously wasn't aware that player was behind him and he left it. But I agree with you, Meg, as a defender facing your own goal, it's a bit of an awkward situation to be in. I get that. And I think it just shows that we've mentioned the lack of leadership. We said Bruno is that leader. Maguire was brought to be that commanding leader at the back. And I still don't feel like we've got that leadership there, to be honest with you. I mean, Emma, who would you blame for that goal?
I am with Meg. I think it's a mixture of both. I think, De Gea definitely should have been demanding more. But I just don't think De Gea trusts his back line as well. So I think that's where the miscommunication comes from, because I don't think De Gea fully trusts his back line. And then Maguire, like someone pointed out, he's not aware of his surroundings. So it is hard. It was hard, but I think they are both at fault just from miscommunication there.
Yeah,
it is hard to put all the blame on Maguire, because I do feel that is unfair to lay it all on him. But no, I think it is both.
Yeah, I think at some points Leipzig thought they were playing against a bunch of road cones, to be honest with you. That far off them, tippy-tap football around us, we couldn't touch them, and we got what we deserved at the end of the day. I thought they were more up for it than us, and that in itself is worrying. Obviously, probably our biggest game of the season. But unfortunately, and we haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, but I know a lot of people have, there was rumours, there was discussions, there was headlines that was overshadowing the fact that it was our biggest game of the season, surrounding one player, and we all know who it is, Paul Pogba. I mean, I'll start with you, Emma. What's your opinion on that situation?
I mean, I'm just done with it. I'm done with the whole Paul Pogba saga. Like, it was our biggest game of the season, and his agent comes out and says that. And I just felt like it's so disrespectful to the club. As much as you say that it was the agent, Paul Pogba must have known that he was going to put that statement out, that he was going to say that. That's his agent. Surely his agent must run that by Paul Pogba and say, look, I'm going to put this out. And Paul Pogba has to agree to him putting those sort of information out there. So I just feel like, yet again, Paul Pogba is being disrespectful. I keep having Paul Pogba's back, but it's come to the point where I'm just like, I'm so done. I don't even care if you go or stay, mate. Like, I just want the whole media saga to just go surrounding him. Let's just do a swap. Let's just get Ronaldo back and get rid of Paul Pogba.
Sounds good to me. I mean, Meg, we see it quite often, and you in particular defend Paul Pogba. Regardless, you try and stand by him. We know how good of a player he is. We've seen the impact he has when he comes off the bench, but we've constantly said about this circus that seems to follow him. Like Emma said, this whole rigmarole that seems to come with him. When this news broke the other day, just before, like you say, a massive game for us, what was your thoughts?
I was pissed off. I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very annoyed. But I do feel like, I do genuinely, at times, I feel sorry for him, because I feel like there is so much attention on him, and like Emma said, that has to be communicated between agent and player that this is going to go out. But as a player, that's his agent doing that, and I feel like he needs to be in charge and say, no, I'm going to sack you off because you don't need to be doing stuff like that when I'm thinking about the team. And then I can't sit here and defend that, because that was like bang out of order for me. But I will say that he has been pivotal in. I know it wasn't exactly the biggest comeback of the other night because we never made it to that third goal. But he has been pivotal in the last 2 games and bringing us kind of back on terms. So it's like this. He hasn't been playing football. He hasn't been playing great, and yet the circus around him is still there. And then now it's getting like hyped up off the pitch. He's bringing his A game almost back on the pitch. But yeah, I can't defend him. Oh, apologies.
Makes rages through a phone and everything.
Yeah, I can't defend his actions on that one.
No, to be fair, like I get it. I can see someone in the chat twisted. I think he's just saying that he just respected Pogba at United, and like you say, at times you do feel sorry for him. The fact that he came for such a big price tag, he's such an icon in the media. Immediately, and his ego as well, of course, he's a popular player, and immediately because of the price tag, people were drawn to him and people scrutinise him. We know what it's like, the press are like in England, and I do feel for him in that sense. But his agent, we all know how Fergie felt about him. But to release that just before a game, like you say, Pogba must have been aware of it. And you know what? At first, I didn't even kick off because I thought, you know what? If Pogba comes out and says, I've got rid of my agent, or I disagree with what my agent has said, fair enough. Like when the France squad rumours came about, immediately he took to social media to prove himself and to clarify what happened. We've heard nothing really from Pogba following this situation. We say we wanted to focus on the football, which I agree with, but I think this is a time where us as fans needed a reason to defend Paul Pogba because it's hard to, isn't it? And you say you probably want to disrupt the dressing room and whatnot. I mean, Meg, obviously me and you play. Do you think if you hear that a massive player in Paul Pogba's leaving, would that affect your mindset? And I'm not giving excuses because we were so poor and there should be no excuses for the fact that we got knocked out of the Champions League, may I add. But do you think it would have unsettled them?
Yeah, I feel like if I say in my team now and I hear about rumours about another player, you don't look upon them any different almost, but you do kind of think like, what's going on? Are you staying? Are you going? Kind of. For me, I'm one of the older ones in my team, and I think, are you going to put your heart and soul into this? Because I'm here to put my heart and soul into it, and players in that dressing room, everyone wants everyone to be there with their whole heart. Like I am. Like I'm one of them players that would put my whole heart into my club. And I feel like we need that from everybody at Manchester United. And if you haven't got it, then don't be there.
Yeah. I mean, it's right. No player is bigger than the club. We saw Beckham leave. We saw Ronaldo leave. It won't be the first time we see big players leave. It looks like it's going to happen, and it seems like a bit of a silly question. But Emma, do you think that is like that's it now for Paul Pogba? That is the final straw. He will be leaving.
I feel like he's gonna be gone. Which I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just done with it. I just want him. If he wants to stay, and just have that consistency as a player on the pitch. If you want to go. But let's just keep the noise down and concentrate on your remaining games. If you want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I do feel like it's inevitable that he is going to go. But like I said, let's just bring Ronaldo back.
Keeps hinting. If you're watching Cristiano, everyone's back, definitely.
I want you back, mate.
But obviously Ronaldo would take him. Of course I could. But in terms of Paul Pogba, if he does go, it sounds stupid, but is he a massive loss? I have no doubt that he'll go and play elsewhere, and I'm sure we'll see the true player that Paul Pogba is. But just not for whatever reason, it's not working out, is it, at United? And I think for the player as well, for his own independence and his own career, I think it's good that he does leave because it just doesn't seem to work for him at United for whatever reason. But we talk about subs and squad depth. Van der Beek, obviously a player that we got in, but he needed goals the other night, and then Ollie chose to bring on Fosu Mensah, Tuanzebe. Now, I've often sat on this channel and defended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but if you're Dan James on that bench, for example, what are you going to be thinking when you see players like that coming on when you're desperate to get back into the game? I mean, Meg, what's your take on the subs you made?
I've got absolutely no idea about this. Because I literally was just like, have he actually just made 2 changes in defence? Like, is that what he just did? You just sat there and think, I have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Like, if you are any of the more attacking players on the bench, you must have just sat there and thought, what the hell is going on? We are down, we need to score. Why have you done that? I mean, I don't know what to say about it because was absolutely bamboozled by the situation.
Yeah, I don't know what Ollie was thinking. I mean, Emma, when you saw those subs being made, what did you make of it?
I was just like, Ollie, what are you doing, mate? Like, why have you just done that? Like, why have you just done that? We need to go out. We need a point. That's all we need.
I think you're right,
and
Gabby.
we've got nothing going forward. There's nothing, no service or anything going forward. And you've made 2 defenders substitutions. I'm like, why? Like, I that's when I really questioned what Ollie is doing. And is he out of his depth? That's when I really questioned it.
You know what? I've got to completely agree. It's like that moment for me. I'm not going to say a penny drop because I'm not sitting here saying I hope he gets sacked, of course. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I've tried to defend him. And in that moment there, I just couldn't. I was speechless. I was like, what is going on? What is going on in his head to think that is the right changes? I don't know. I have no clue on it. But obviously we had a few key players there and stuff like that. But the back two are Lindelof and Maguire. I'll be honest. I think we are shocking at the back. I think we are awful. So many mistakes we see on a consistent basis. It's getting frustrating. Personally, I would like to see Tuanzebe start more, and I'm going to put it out there, but I think Axel should be given more starting time. I trust him at the back more than probably those two at the moment, to be honest. I mean, Meg, Axel Tuanzebe, do you think he deserves a shot now as a centre-back?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to contradict myself, though, because I feel like we have not... I don't know. You can tell me in the comments what people think right now, because I don't know our best 11. I don't know our best formation. I don't know our best 11 because we swap and change it that bloody much that I can't keep up. I don't know if we're going to go ahead with a diamond in the middle. I don't know if we're going to go with 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 3 up top, a main striker and 2 playing off, or main striker and 3 behind. What? Yeah. I mean, I put it to you girls. Do you not genuinely know what our best 11 or our best formation is? And at that point, I'm like, I also feel we need to start making these like cohesive bonds between players and relationships between the formation, like how it is. But how do you do that if I keep saying, I need to put this player in, or I need to put this player in? We need to find our best formation, our best 11.
Yeah, and I think we talk about consistency. We bang on about it, the fact that we don't have it. But if you don't have a regular lineup, players are playing out of position, for example, or players aren't even starting every single week, then you're going to struggle to find that consistency. It's facts, isn't it? And the fact that we rotate and we change the system so much, again, that's got to come down to Ollie, because it's been 2 seasons now? 2 years?
Yeah.
And he still hasn't found his best lineup. And I know that there's rumours obviously wanted Sancho and whatnot, and he hasn't got his key targets, so I appreciate that. But to still not have your best lineup, surely that needs to be touched upon, doesn't it? That's not right, is it, Emma?
No, 100%. And that's what it comes down, because consistency is key, but we don't have consistency in our team. We don't know, like Megs, we don't know what best starting 11 is. We don't know what our best formation is because he's not consistent in keeping it. Like, bring back to the Leipzig game, we played perfect against them in the diamond, but he changed it. Why? Why would you change it? The fact is that Leipzig knew that they knew that he would go defensive in that game. So they changed it. And it's just frustrating. I just think that Ollie just needs to find his best players, stick with it, and just do the normal rotations of players that need game time or needs to come off or needs a rest, like Bruno, we don't want to burn him out. But definitely, he just needs to find that consistency and get in his best starting 11 and best formation. I
agree. I'm not sitting here and saying Ollie out because he hasn't found it. I'm sitting here saying Ollie needs to find it. Like, you can't simply just... People say freestyle. I'm not saying he's freestyling, but we need a regular system. We need to know what our best 11 is, and we don't know that at the minute. And that's something that Ollie needs to improve on. But we've spoken enough about that horrible game against Leipzig. We've spoken enough about Champions League. We're going to move on from that and look towards the league. Obviously, Man City at the weekend. A huge game. A derby game. Emma, I'll start with you. You said you're feeling fairly confident about this one. So I'm guessing you think we're going to win.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I think we're going to win because this is what United do. We have a bad loss and then we come out and be completely different and the players turn up and we win. So I am fairly confident. I think we'll win the game. I think we'll be I think it'll be a comfortable 3-1. I do think we will concede because you've seen our back line is absolutely horrendous. But I do think that we'll go out there and we'll put in a performance to have that perfect response from losing. As much as it still pains me, but I think that's what they will do. They will come back with a response and win.
Yeah, they've got to respond, haven't they? They've got to bounce back. But to be fair, that's what the title of mine and Ricky's video was midweek. We need to bounce back. It didn't happen. Meg, how are you feeling going into this game against Man City? We say form goes out the window in games like this. It's cliche, but it is true, isn't it?
It is. It's like a cup final game, isn't it? And especially with where we're all sitting in the league as well and how tight it is. But if we win that game, we go third, even if it is for just half an hour after Chelsea play after us or whatever it is. I think we're at 5:30, they're at 8. So potentially we're going to be sat there for a couple of hours, but we're sat there before they start. They've then got to go out after us and they've got to do their business knowing that we've already secured the 3 points. So I think mentally for other teams, we've got to go out there and do our job. We haven't got to go out with this mentality of we need a point. We've got to go out and do our job, and that means going out, getting 3 points, playing well. I don't want to be sitting there thinking, well, we've got to defend. I want us to go and play. Just go play football like we know that these players can do. But like Emma said, I think we will concede. I mentioned my notes. This is what I was referring to. Last 4 games, we've conceded first. And the 5 out of our 6 wins in the Premier League have been comebacks.
Yeah.
Where we've conceded first. I will be irate if we concede first on Saturday. If we have not learnt by now that we need to go out there and not concede first, then I don't think we'll ever learn. And especially if we concede first against Man City.
Do you think that emphasises the mentality thing? Like I mentioned, we can't get ourselves up for games. It takes for us to concede to then finally think, oh, we're in a game. Do you know what I mean? It seems like we need that kick up the arse before we get started. I mean, I don't know about your idea on that, Emma, but do you think the fact that we go a goal down, that kind of, I don't know, wakes us up almost, because we just can't seem to motivate ourselves to start a game quickly. And when we do start quickly, we've seen that's when our best performances have been.
No, I agree with you. It is. I don't know what's going on at the moment with the players, but it does seem like it takes them a while to get into the game. And once we concede, it's like, oh, hang on, we need to get a goal back here. And the response generally is good once we concede, but we can't go into games like that every game because, like we've seen, it's a risk. It's a massive risk, and we just need to straight from kickoff go in for the attack, just hit them with it. And I will, like Meg said, I will be annoyed if we concede again because it is like we're not learning. We're not learning from our mistakes. Yeah,
I mean, obviously you can look at it from the other way and say, oh, it shows resilience. It shows that we've got the mentality to fight back, and I don't deny that. Of course we've got that. That's bred into our DNA as United. We are the comeback kings, as Rahul has said there. I know that. But my point is, why does it take us to concede for us to get started? And that's the most frustrating thing I find at the minute. I don't know, we seem to amble into games, we're not up for it. We don't look up for it from the off, and that's so negative because as fans, we know how pumped up we get the butterflies before kick off, and you're so up for it, and then you see the players who just quite simply don't seem bothered. I mean, does it look that way to you, Meg?
Yes, I was reading a chat from Mark Chadwick that said Fergie's teams let goals in first a lot as well. It's entertainment. It might be entertainment, but we score more than you asked, but we don't. We've seen that, and that's what happens to us. We don't score enough. We didn't get that 3rd goal on Tuesday, and now we're out of the Champions League. It is exciting. That last 10 minutes, I'm not going to lie, I was on the edge of my seat. When he hit that towards the own goal at the end, I thought, oh my God, we've done it. But we didn't, and I felt absolutely deflated afterwards. I was just like, that's what we deserved. If you're going to give a 2-goal lead within 15 minutes, then you may as well just give them the win, because you can't keep doing it to yourself. You are not going to come back every single time. But I also think with that, about going back to the Fergie comment, if you concede and you go in and Fergie is standing there, we all know what he was like. I'd absolutely be like, oh, as I was going into that change room, like, oh, do I feel like we have that kind of fear about Ollie? No, I just don't feel like that he's going to have that presence like that Fergie had.
Yeah, and I think the another point is, I agree with that, obviously, and attacking, entertaining. We've seen if we can create chances, and I'm not saying we're not creating them, but we're not putting them away, and that's the issue. Like, we're not clinical enough front of goal. We've seen how Martial started this season. Greenwood is our best finisher. Rashford's hit and miss. We know that. We're just not clinical enough in front of goal as well. And at the same time, you get punished for making mistakes at the back, but you get punished when you don't take your chances. So it's a bit of a, at the minute, we're not scoring many, but we're also conceding quite a few as well. And that's a position you don't want to be in. But I agree. I love the entertaining part. I've always said, as long as we outscore the opposition, I genuinely don't mind. And that's because I'm an attacking player. Meg as a centre-back would probably feel different about that. But for me, like, I like that. But like you say, we're just not clinical enough in front of goal, and that's something that we're lacking. Kieran said there, Pogba looked good when he came on. I agree, he did look good. But is he looking good because he wants to put himself in the shop window now? We don't know, and that's what I mean. As fans, we just need to. We know his ability, we know how good he is. We just wanted to focus on the football, and we're sick of everything that comes around it. But like Emma said earlier, it does look like, I think, time is ticking now for Pogba, and he will be on his way out. But this weekend, I'm hoping that maybe Cavani is back fit. I think we missed him in the week. Going into this game, it's hard to predict. I'm sitting here in my head trying to think how can I predict this? How can I call it? Guys, get in the chat and let us know your predictions as well. It's so hard. But Meg, before you see the team and who's fit, I know. But your gut feeling right now, what's the score going to be?
Oh,
there's 112 then.
I said it earlier that this challenge in particular is not about jumping on the back of, with a loss and that's it. Like, I'm going to throw the chair about, I'm going to stamp on the floor and throw the toys out the pram.
Yeah,
we lost. Okay, we lost in the week. I'm done. Let's move on. I always want to try and be positive about Manchester United, and I did say earlier that I am finding it difficult. But that being said, I don't like betting against us. Emma and yourself, Sophie, both said it, that we come against big teams and we can beat them. We've beat City before. We've done it. But do I think it'll be very difficult this time? Yeah. So I am just going to go for I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think it'll be very tight. I think it'll be very tight. I think it'll be tight. I think a 2-1 is not a bad shape. Sharik also said a draw. I don't think that's a bad shape, but I do think both teams will score. It's hard. I'm like you, Meg. I hate to choose against United. I hate to bet against them. So I'm not gonna bet against them. But I'll let you go first, Emma. What's your prediction? Your gut feeling?
Well, can I just say, Carl is probably in the comments saying something massively like 9-0. So that's not me. That's Carl on our YouTube account.
That's fine.
I think it will be, realistically, to me, I do think it'll be 3-1. I do think we'll concede, but I just for some reason I do feel like we're going to come out with a response and we're gonna win the game with a few goals. So I do think 3-1.
I like it. Gaynor, thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for the super chats. It's great to have you back, ladies. Missed the podcast. We've missed you guys as well. Thanks for being patient with us. We appreciate it. But yeah, you've gone 3-1. I'm going to have to say 2-1 and I hate to go the same. If I have to go different, I'll say a 1-0 to United, but I do think that City will score. So I'm going to say 2-1. I think Bruno will get on the score sheet again. I'm going to put some goal scorers out there. I think Bruno will get on the score sheet. And I'm going to say Harry Maguire header, just because I think he's got something to answer to. So I'm going to go for a Maguire header. You two got any ideas for goal scorers?
Who am I going to go for? I will go for Rashford. Yeah. I'm just going to go for the one, Rashford.
Do you know what? I said it before, like, we are dangerous on set pieces and we need to take advantage of our set pieces. So I'm going to go with what Soph said and take advantage of those set pieces and get a Harry Maguire or Cavani off the head, someone like that with a teller's cross. We just need to take advantage because we are dangerous. So definitely, I'm gonna go with Soph and say Harry Maguire header as well. I'd
love Cavani to be back, by the way, because just his little movements and stuff like that with inside the box, like it's instinctive. He knows where the net is. So if he's back, which fingers crossed that he is, I'll go with Rashford and Cavani.
Nice.
A Cavani winner.
Have we lost our minds? Yeah, probably have, to be fair. It's not healthy being a United fan. There's a good chance that we have done that, to be fair. Guys, get your questions in for the girls as well. We're going to keep reading out. Got another super chat from I'm blue, da ba dee ba da da. I saw you singing it in the chat earlier just before we started. I saw it. Where does that myth come from that Ollie doesn't use hairdryer treatment? Players have literally said in interviews that Ollie isn't always a nice guy. And do you remember when he was pissed at Lingard, Maguire gang? I do remember that. Yeah, I think to be fair, Ollie was obviously a top class player, played at such a high level for a long time. You've got to have that bit of bite in you. I think to make it at that level in football, I think you've got to have that bit of bite. And I do think Ollie has got it. But I agree with Meg in the sense that does he give you that ultimate fear factor? No, he doesn't. But I have no doubt that he does have a ruthless side to him, but it just doesn't terrify you the way that Fergie did. But to be fair, how can you compare anyone to Fergie? Because he just had such a mad presence, did he? He was just different. He was just a class above. But, I mean, we'll talk about Cavani while the questions are coming in. Emma, what's your first impressions of him? Have you liked what you've seen so far?
Oh, absolutely amazing. He is a predator in the box, isn't he? His movement, he's just a poacher. And do you know what? We've missed that because we haven't got a clinical striker. We have missed it. And now we've got someone who can move, he can poach, just be that predator in the box. I think it's just, we can see that we've missed it. I think Martial will learn a lot from him. If Martial watches how he moves, I think Martial can definitely learn a lot from him. But I'm absolutely loving having Cavani in the team. You know, when he first signed, everyone was like, oh yeah, but he's so old. And even I said that. I said, you know, why are we going for an older player when Ollie's, you know, ethos is youth players? But hold my hands up, completely wrong. He's absolutely fantastic. And I think he's going to be crucial for our team. Yeah,
I have to agree with that. I mean, Meg, you mentioned earlier his little movements and that. You can see his experience in the way that he plays. He's not always coming feet. He sometimes spins in behind. He varies it up. And we've said so many times, you have too many players, even though they're fast, too many players who want to come feet. And Cavani offers us something a bit different. You wouldn't associate him with being a player because of his age and that as well, to be spinning off in behind. But he's so clever, isn't he? He's always keeping the defender guessing.
Yeah, like you said, he's clever. He's just got that little bit of movement and he kind of knows where the space is. And I think a lot of players, as you get older and go through it, you know kind of where to be to start the movement and then to where you finish. Kane does it really well for Spurs. And I think Cavani's now got that kind of Kane role for us. Like he's that player that can find that little gap. And he doesn't start in it. Or it's almost like he goes into it, comes back, and then he's there. He's just in that box. He just knows where the net is. It's nice to have a player like that.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know, it's something about him. I just like his old character, his work rate as well. He fights for every single ball. He reminds me a bit of Tevez in that sense, where he just grafts and fights for every ball. Like, he must be a nightmare to play against as well. And I am hoping he's fit for this weekend because he gives us a different dimension. And I think that we lacked him up top definitely the other day. But to get your questions in, I saw someone asked, I think it was Twisted, I'm going to find it, Space Invaders or Pac-Man, which is, I think, is quite a cool question. So I'll play both, to be fair. But
Space Invaders.
Ooh, I'll probably edge towards Pac-Man.
No, Pac-Man annoys me. Like, like I thought it looked like Pac-Man. I got the yellow one as well. Like, no, Space Invaders definitely.
Yeah,
Emma?
I think I'd have to agree. Space Invaders.
Love that. Maguire's a liability to club and Greeks. What? No, to be fair, he's a liability on the pitch. I'm going to stick to on the pitch stuff. He has been a liability on the pitch, so I'll go with that one. Yeah, Carl did say 9-0 in the chat, by the way.
Of course he did.
That's what he went for.
I apologise to everyone who, every video that I do, Carl comments in 9-0. He can't control himself.
Another question. What has Maguire done to deserve captaincy? It's a good question. What has he done to deserve it? Go on, Meg.
Okay, I'm going to reverse the question. Bar Bruno, because Bruno is everybody's favourite and he does show the leadership. What has anybody done to deserve captaincy? Because bar Bruno that does show this kind of like passion and grit, and he's got that little like feistiness about him. And yes, that's fine. But once you name a captain, like we did with Maguire before Bruno, stripping him of captaincy for absolutely no reason, bar his performances.
Yeah.
It can be devastating to a player and to the whole team. You don't just start stripping people of captaincy and you can't do that role and you're doing this. I feel like, yes, we know that Bruno is a good leader, but we'd already given Maguire captaincy. So if that's written in kind of into a contract or whatever, then don't feel like that's possibly a positive move to strip him of captaincy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bruno, like you say, is the one who seems to have the most natural leadership about him. But other than him, when Maguire came in, we said that he was the answer. We thought he was the answer to the leadership problem, didn't we? But Emma, do you agree with Meg on that one?
No, 100% agree. You know, bar Bruno, who is deserving of the captaincy. For me, I was speaking to Carl about it. I think they're very different roles in captaincy, where Bruno is very feisty, where I think Maguire approaches it different. What I don't like about Maguire is, though, he never seems to demand his back line. You know, when he's back there, he can't see him shouting. We've seen Lindelof do it a few times, but you've never seen Maguire, like, you know, demanding his back line, you know, that urgency. And when something is happening that you don't agree with, you know, someone's going to get a yellow, or, you know, an incident's happened, you never see Maguire up there, you know, asking the ref why. But you see Bruno, first one there to question it. He nearly got sent off, nearly got booked the other night. I think he got booked, actually. I think he did get booked, where he just kept at the ref all
he got
the time.
Booked.
And, you know, just a bit like, calm down, Bruno, because you will get sent off in a minute.
Yeah, sure. No another Fred situation going on. Definitely. Doug says, what's your favourite Christmas movie, ladies? Go on, Emma, I'll let you start on this one. What's your favourite Christmas film?
Easy. I watched it today with the kids. It's Elf. Love it.
Will Ferrell.
Emma, you got so excited by that question. You're like, oh, I know the answer.
I know. Do you know what? Because I love Christmas. It's my favourite. And literally watching Elf, it just makes it Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, Will Ferrell, for me, I just love him. Like, Step Brothers is up there as one of my favourite films ever. So, yeah, that's a good shout, to be fair. Meg, what's your favourite Christmas film?
Mine is Home Alone, and I'm laughing because I just love the scene, you know, when they, like, give this to Kevin, give this to Kevin, give this to Kevin, give this to Kevin.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin's not here. I do love Home Alone. I just think it's just comedy genius, because it's just like, what the hell is going on? And how she just forgets the child is beyond me.
Twice.
Yeah.
It's 5 points now.
5 now, isn't it? But I absolutely love that house. I just sit there all the time and say, oh, that is just an incredible house. So yeah, Home Alone. Although the new Grinch that's come out, like in the last couple of years, my daughter is absolutely loving that at the moment. So I'm kind of we're watching that back to back. So that's also, it's kind of snuck in there a little bit at the moment.
To be fair, Home Alone are always up there for me, 1 and 2. Like, it's hard for me to choose between the two, because I think 2 is just as good when I'm in New York. I love that. Yeah. Elf is up there, and then you've already mentioned the Grinch, but the Jim Carrey Grinch for me has got to be up there for as well. It's really hard for me to narrow it down. I think if I had to choose one, I'd probably say Home Alone 1, the original. But yeah, it's hard because I love Will Ferrell as well. He's just class. But thank you again for the super chat. It says 4-1, Igalo hat-trick, Bruno 1, Slabhead on goal. I hope you're right. And Igalo seems to have slipped off the face of the earth a little bit. Again, another player that we could have brought on the other day. Didn't. Yeah. Don't know what's happening there with Igalo. I think it's safe to say he's down the pecking order quite far. So once I give the armband to Juan Mata, he's been at the club longer than Maguire, isn't he? I mean, Juan Mata, I still love the guy. I still love him. I think he's a class player. Yes, he's not fast. He's lost his legs. But for me, he's one of these where he's got an extra yard in his head. I don't know if you two agree with me, but he's such an intelligent player, and he's still such an effective player for us. I really do think that. Emma, do you think he's still got a big part to play for us this season?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, his legs haven't got it as much anymore, but he's got it all up here. He's so intelligent. And I think that's what we need. We need those intelligent players. We've seen it with Bruno. We've seen it with Donny van der Beek. Mata, when he's playing, he contributes so much because he's so intelligent. So he's got a lot more to give, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And as Rule says, great content, ladies. I appreciate that. What would you do if you met your own fan, not a football player? Don't know what you mean by that. If you can ask the question again, rephrase it for me, and we'll answer it happily. A lot of people are saying Home Alone, by the way, in the chat. Mata over McTominay. Mata not as a CDM, in my opinion. He can't play CDM.
No.
But technically, Mata is a better player than McTominay, definitely. Why did we sell Smalling? Meg, what were we saying? Emma, to be fair, you were probably on the shows where we mentioned it as well. Smalling, we mentioned, is probably better than what we got. A lot of people laughed at Ricky saying it. But then now when you look back, you think is he a loss really for what we've got left? I think it shows the state of us at the back, really, the fact that we're talking about Smalling still. Do you know what I mean? I think that we need a higher calibre of player. Would you guys swap Pogba for De Ligt? They've both got the same agent, bear that in mind, but would you do it, girls?
I've seen this a lot. Do you know what? I would. Just he might have a better attitude, it might be more consistent, but you could just be swapping the same situation. You just don't know, do you?
Personally, I want to stay away from Raiola, stay as far away as possible. But Meg, I mean, would you consider that deal?
I think it's a considerable thought, but like you said, I think if you're going to get rid of Pogba because of the whole agent situation thing, you're going to be put with another player who's got that same agent, and I think if you can get away from him and have that kind of atmosphere gone, then I would prefer to do that.
Rather Lamptey than Trippier. Lamptey, a player that we spoke briefly about, obviously for Brighton, had a great start to the season, a young talent. Would you two take him at United? I think he'd be a good signing personally. Yeah. I really like looking at him.
No, I would as well. I would 100%.
I think he's showing signs of maturity in his game at the moment as well this season. So yeah, definitely something to watch out for.
He's an exciting player. He's only tiny as well, isn't he? And I love that about him. He's such a good start, and he's doing class for Brighton. And like I said, I think he's one that we should keep an eye on. But we don't seem to do that as Manchester United. We wait for a player to become established before we approach them. Like the whole Robertson thing at Liverpool. When he was at Hull, he stood out like Lamptey standing out now. Liverpool pounced on that, and we just let it slip. And I think we seem to wait for. We're too reactionary. We need to take it upon ourselves to actually scout our own players and spot little players. Someone said he's like a mini Evra. I like that comparison. I do like that comparison.
There's a big comparison. That is.
I like it though.
For a small player, a big comparison.
Definitely. But guys, as always, it's been an absolutely great show. Girls, thanks again for joining us. Meg, if you just shout out where people can follow you.
Thanks for having us on. You can follow me on Twitter, and it's at Megan Can with a little underscore at the end.
Yeah, go and obviously follow Meg, go and support. Lots of content on there, always talking about Manchester United, always ranting lately about Manchester United as well, like we all are. But yeah, definitely give her a follow. And then Emma, if you could just shout out your socials and of course your channel as well.
Yeah, I have my own channel. I'm like 300 away from 4K, guys. It's That United Family. That United Family on YouTube. And also you can find me on Twitter. It's Mrs. Emma Edgar. I think it's an underscore. I'm not sure. But you'll be able to find me on there.
I will put everything in the description of the video as well, so you can find the ladies. This is a really important question that we need to answer just before we go, though, guys. Quality Street or Cadbury Roses?
Heroes. Anyway, both. I want specifically the pink one out of the Quality Street, like the fudge. Yeah. And the I don't even know what comes in the roses. Is there a toffee one or something?
Like a caramel one. Yeah.
Caramel barrel thing in there. See, I'm on the fruit creams. We go back to food again. That question. We always have one question on food. The fruit creams, like the strawberry cream, and that's what I love. So I actually bought some roses today because they've been sold out everywhere since I've been shopping online. Couldn't get them, and I saw some today, so I grabbed some. So yeah, that reminded me. I'll be enjoying them later. But guys in the chat, hit a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Obviously, if you've missed your chat, we don't do it on purpose. We will check the comments afterwards. So just drop a comment on the video. We'll reply there. And if you like the content and you're brand new, hit the sub button, hit the like button, and we'll be back very, very soon. Thanks again to the ladies. Have a lovely evening. Take care.